Welcome to the NBA Triple Double Show powered by SportsMemo. I'm your host, Ronald Cabang, also known as UCapper Sports on Twitter. I'll be joined by Moneyline Matt today from SportsMemo. We got two games. Yesterday, we saw two game sixes. One series extended, one series ended. We got two more game sixes again today. But before we get into those games, I do want to talk about what we got going on over at SportsMemo and WagerTalk.com. We got that 7-11 package. It's a 7-day all-access pass for the price. 11 days of all access for the price of a 7-day all-access pass. I believe it's typically, let me get this right. So we have 57% from now through Sunday, May 21st is the day. You can head over to your favorite cappers page. The 7-11 special gives you 11 days of access for $99, which is the normal price for 7 days. That's what it is. So it's like getting a $59 3-day pass and a $39 1-day pass for free. So pick one, pick two, pick all your favorite handicappers and get your all-access service for the next 11 days for only $9 per day from your favorite handicappers. With that said, you also have the free live odds pages and the deals pages that we have over at SportsMemo and Wager Talk. Cappers do provide free picks and analysis on a daily basis as well, along with their daily packages that they do have for sale. So make sure you go there after the show here. And before you go to, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube. With that said, let's get Matt up here with me. Matt, oh man, it's been a crazy NBA playoffs here. We got a whole bunch of game sixes, and the longer the series goes, the more defense, more physicality between the teams. And we tend to see like lower scoring games, and we saw a couple of them yesterday. But we want to talk about how things have been going so far this week. How's the NBA playoffs been treating you?
Yeah, the NBA playoffs have been great so far. I believe I'm third in overall playoff profit now. Started off the week, we're coming off the 10-2 last week. This week we started off 0-3, so I was a little nervous, but can't turtle. Got to keep going. Got to believe in that system, and turned it around. And we're 7-5 on the week now. So starting off 0-3, now we're 7-5 going into Friday, and have a very good feeling going into this game. Do I like the feeling? No, but I feel like I have a very good grasp on it. Very similar to kind of what I was saying about the Phoenix Suns. We were on the Nuggets money line yesterday. We were on the Celtics money line. Jamal Murray. So coming off some good plays, ready to keep it rolling. I got a feeling today is going to hurt, but we're going to make that money. So let's get into it.
Money's more important, right? Right, Matt? Yeah. Well, with that said, man, I went 1-1. I took the Sixers team total under. That one was good, and then the other one was I believe it was the Suns team total over. I thought their offense was going to show up here in a key situation, and that didn't happen. So 1-1 yesterday, but we got two games today, and I feel a little bit more confident today than I did yesterday for sure. First game up here, the Knicks and the Heat. Knicks won Game 5. Heat now lead the series 3-2. Knicks are obviously in another must-win situation here. If they're able to get to the free throw line like they did in Game 5, I think they got to the free throw line like 40 times. They should have a good chance to get to Game 7 and get them back to New York. But what do you think about this one, Matt? Do you think the Knicks can make it to Game 7 here, or do you see something else from a betting perspective that you might have an edge on?
I'm going to be honest. This has been a series that has been pretty tough for me throughout. One thing, too, is every single time I think that the Knicks are going to come through and cover, the Heat end up covering, and the opposite. So last time I was on the Knicks, I did think they would get it done. This is a spot too where I think a lot of people are going to be on Miami. I think a lot of people are going to be with Jimmy Butler here for him to step up in one of these closeout game situations. He's been playing unbelievable throughout the playoffs. And one thing with this Miami Heat team is every single game, you've kind of heard me talk about it with the Lakers and how they always have someone step up. This Miami team has had a lot of players step up as well, whether it be Gabe Vincent, whether it be Max Strus, Kevin Love. They have a lot of these key role players that have been stepping up, and I think they're probably going to do it again in this spot. But, 5.5 points is a lot, so it does make me want to go back to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson played unbelievable last game. RJ Barrett played very well. Julius Randle played okay. Still waiting for him to do his thing. Definitely not going to be on him again. I think I've had enough of Julius Randle already. But if I were to go anywhere, I think it would be the New York Knicks with the spread. I love playing these spots where teams are very desperate with their backs against the wall, fighting for their lives, And, another thing, too, is I've been running these polls polls on my Twitter and just kind of seeing where the public is going in regards to the game. We have around 70 votes right now, and 65% is going to Miami. And I will say, with this poll that I ran on Twitter, we're doing every game every day. It's 9-4 to the poll favorite right now. But this is one I'm actually steering the other way. It's one of those spots where I feel like everyone thinks Miami's going to cover. Everyone thinks Miami's going to do it. And it just seems like one of those spots where the Knicks might cover just because of that. You know, when you don't expect them to come through, when you don't expect them to play well, I think they come out and play well. And I think Jalen Brunson will lead the way. So for me, this probably won't be an official play. This is a game that a series just in general I'm staying away from. But if I were to go anywhere, I think it would be the New York Knicks with the spread.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I did something on Twitter this morning about Scott Foster. He's going to be the ref for this game, and if you look at some of his stats here, I posted this on Twitter. Scott Foster ATS playoff stats since 2016 in Game Sixes specifically. 6-1 in Game Sixes for the road team. That points to the Knicks. 4-1 in Game 6 for the team that won Game 5. So the team that has a little bit of momentum, or the team that's probably behind in the series. 4-1 in that situation as well, pointing to the Knicks again. Another thing to mention, some of the my followers mentioned this one. The Heat are 0-10 straight up, 2-8 against the spread in the last 10 games where Scott Foster has reffed the game. So Scott Foster doesn't like the way they play, obviously, if you look at those types of stats there. But historically, I talked about the longer you go in the series, specifically 6 and 7 of the series, it's been profitable to take the under. Matt, I use the Killer Sports database or the SDQL database, and if I go to Game 6 and Game 7 of round 2 or later in the playoffs specifically, 76, 45, and 3 to the under. That's a 62.8% under rate, and it's been doing well this season as well. We've seen some 6s and 7s. Some 6s so far. Yesterday we saw both of those games go under, but it really is because the later you go, the games tend to be more defensive and more physical, and then both teams playing with more sense of urgency, right? Because one team's trying to close out, the other team's trying to fight for their lives, basically, to stay in the playoffs. So scoring opportunities become harder to come by, and defenses are like more effective. We also start to see more half-court sets and fewer fast break opportunities because teams are trying to focus on the controlling the tempo, also trying to minimize turnovers too, right? So they don't want to play too fast. So that's going to mean a slower pace. These two teams here already play a slow pace. And so with that said, that's even more, less scoring opportunities and a lower overall score. We've seen them struggle to get over 200. I think they've been around like a 205 to 210 range for the most part of this series. These closeout games, man, there's just a lot of pressure for these younger guys and some of the role players, but we'll see some of the stars shine. So it's kind of like that situation we talked about on Wednesday, Matt, where even though it's a low scoring game, a lot of the key players that are going to play heavy minutes will end up going over their team total. Over their prop totals. So that's one way to look at it from a prop perspective. I think the key guys you feel like who's going to play 40 plus minutes might go over their prop, but one way that I was looking at this one too was, obviously the Knicks are fighting for their lives here, and I think that the defense is going to come out pretty strong to start the game. So I was thinking like a Heat first half team total under 54.5 is the number. I think that's the way to go there. They're going to be focused. The Knicks will be focused on the defensive side of the ball. Also, they're going to slow down the pace even more, like I talked about, limiting the turnovers that they've had this whole series. So that should keep the Heat under the 54.5 first half total, but you never know what's going to happen towards the end of the game, especially with a low total. Like maybe the free throws end up getting them over the total later on, but we'll see how it goes. I tend to agree with you that I think the Knicks is the side here, but if I was to place a bet on this one, first half team total under, I think is a smart one. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's a great look. I completely agree with you. I think both teams are going to come out playing tougher defense with a lot of energy here, obviously, because, again, the Knicks have their backs against the wall. Heat are trying to close out. So I expect both teams to step up. And these are both two teams where, yes, they go on streaks and runs, but they don't have that many players who are going to go out there and get you, 25 points each, anything like that. So, typically, especially from the Miami Heat side, you're going to get a lot from Jimmy Butler generally. Bam Adebayo is going to chip in, and then you're hoping either Gabe Vincent or Max Strus chips in and gets like 10 to 15, one of those guys. So, and then other than that, it's just a couple guys here and there, Caleb Martin, Kevin Love, whatever it may be. So there's generally there's not that many scorers on either teams, and even with the New York Knicks, it's Jalen Brunson. And, I think you brought up a great point with Jalen Brunson, or even the core three for Brunson, Barrett, and Randall. Of those guys, they might play the entire game. Jalen Brunson, I believe, did play the entire game or very close
Brunson
to it.
And Grimes played the whole game. Brunson and Grimes played the whole game in Game 5. So, I mean, I could definitely see it again.
Yeah, and with Brunson, I think that's going to be the most secure one. Either Brunson or Barrett, I would say, just because of the fact that Julius Randle does get in foul trouble. When you're playing that many minutes, you do run a greater risk of getting in foul trouble. And for Jalen Brunson, it's pretty safe when you're going against Gabe Vincent, when you're going against Kyle Lowry, someone like that. So you're generally not going to get the fouls that maybe Jalen or Julius Randle does, who might be on Bam Adebayo, or you shouldn't get a foul on Kevin Love, but who knows. But again, so I think that's a great look because, again, we talked about it. We've talked about a lot throughout the playoffs. When you're taking these player props, you need the minutes. You need the volume. And if you're playing the entire game, you're probably going to get it. So, I think Jalen Brunson would be the look here. Maybe a points, rebounds, assist, points, rebounds. I would personally like almost every single look from him because he has been someone who has been contributing in every single stat category.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think Jalen Brunson is a smart play there. Let's move on to the second game here, the Warriors and the Lakers. After the Warriors took Game 5, the Lakers now lead the series 3-2. They're in LA now, and we know how the Warriors struggle on the road here. They pretty much had that travel bug continuously throughout the whole season. From a total perspective, all 3 games played in San Fran went over, and now they're in LA. Both of the games that were played in LA have gone under. We know that like we said, the Warriors have that travel situation that they just tend to struggle offensively. What are your thoughts on this one, Matt? I'll talk about this one more during the best bet section, but want to get your take on it before we move on to that.
Yeah, guys, my best bet is also from this. I have a player prop from this game, so we will get into this. But it hurts my chest even saying this. But you guys know I love the Golden State Warriors. I love Steph Curry, but I personally just don't believe they are as good as this Lakers team. And, the whole thing with Anthony Davis, whatever happened last game, it is what it is. But he is probable to play in this spot, and Anthony Davis is the key. If Anthony Davis was not playing, maybe I would go with the Golden State Warriors. But, I'll be honest, LeBron James has an incredible track record in closeout games. He's 40-12. He's great in terms of producing, whether it be points, assists, rebounds, little bit of everything. And, there's another narrative here with Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is now questionable coming into this game with a rib injury. And Andrew Wiggins is one of those guys who does man up LeBron James. So if Andrew Wiggins can't do that, if Andrew Wiggins can't get as physical with LeBron because of the ribs, anything along those lines, it's going to affect the Warriors. And with LeBron James, I expect them to be very aggressive here. We know how much the Lakers love to get to the line. They love to attack the basket. And they love to rely on those fouls sometimes. Let's be honest. A couple games this series, they have beaten the Warriors by 30 or more free throws. That's a lot. So I think they're going to be very aggressive in this spot. I think they're going to try and attack the basket, get to the line. And it's just a spot where I think the Lakers have more weapons. We've talked about this before. Klay Thompson still not doing anything. Who knows if he's going to come out and do something here? It was a Draymond Green legacy game to get them over the top with when they were in Golden State. Is that something you can really count on again? I personally don't think so. Jordan Poole, we talked about this last time. I believe he's regressed. He's just not playing that good of basketball. His defense is absolutely terrible. And when you look at the other side with the Lakers, not only are these guys who can put up that 10, 15, maybe even 20 points sometimes playing great offense, they're playing good defense as well. Austin Reeves moves his feet pretty well. Dennis Schroeder is terribly annoying. He's like a little pest that won't go away. So a lot of these guys are just playing good basketball at this point in time. And, even Rui, we haven't heard from Rui in a little bit. And Rui can come off the bench. He can fill it up a little bit. He can rebound well. He's a big body that you can put on people. So for me in this spot, if there is not a heroic output from Steph Curry, I just don't see it. I was even texting people earlier and just saying if Klay don't get 25, 30 points, I don't think they really have a chance because they need that second person to step up. And if Andrew Wiggins is truly questionable, if Andrew Wiggins is actually affected by this injury, they need someone to step up. And at this point in time, there's no arrow pointing to anyone else because there hasn't been any consistency. This game is going to have to come out of nowhere. So for me, I'm going to go with the consistency here. And as much as it hurts me, it's LeBron James, it's Anthony Davis, it's D'Lo, it's Austin Reeves. So God, it kills. But I'm with the Lakers here. I think they're moving on.
I mean, you make a lot of sense there. We talked about the Warriors' struggles on the road, but obviously this is a little bit different from the regular season, right? This is a playoff situation, a must-win situation in the playoffs, and Warriors have always been one of those teams historically that have been really good following a loss. Playing from behind in the playoffs, but man, this Lakers team, like you said, they're just a little bit different this time around. I mean, the depth is super important for them. Everything that they did after the trade deadline has, put them in the position that they're in today. And if you look at the defense specifically, man, I think that's where they've improved so much more after the trade as well. I don't know if it's like a shift of focus or if the role players that came in are just doing a better job, but if you look at it from just in the playoffs specifically, including the play-in round, right? 6-0 straight up at home specifically, and it's mainly due to their defense. They've limited their opponents under their team total in 5 of those 6 games, but the one game that they allowed the opponent to go over was because they went to OT, and they only went over by like a point or a point and a half or something like that. So that's kind of the way that I'm going with this one, guys. I agree with you. I think that the Lakers is the way to go. I think maybe it might be a tight game, but for the most part, I think the Warriors are just going to struggle offensively, just like they have all season long on the road. And now they're playing one of the most keyed in defensive teams in the playoffs currently. Like they're peaking right now at the right time, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And if Wiggins isn't there, man, I don't know what's going to happen. That's going to be tough for the Warriors to really, he's that guy that can do multiple things, right? He could shoot, he could slash, and then Curry obviously could do the same thing too. But everyone else, they really are just one dimensional, right? Clay is just a shooter. Like you don't really see him, attack the paint too often either. So you miss that guy that can do multiple things offensively for you. I don't know, man. For me, the Warriors team total under is the way to go. 108.5 is the number there. I did just put it up as a premium play on SportsMemo. That's the way that I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. I think that's the best bet for today for me on the show today. Matt, what about you? What's your best bet for today? And what do you got going on over at sportsmemo.com?
Yeah, guys, right now over at SportsMemo, I got 2 plays loaded, ready to roll. So just trying to keep it going with it on this week, 7 and 5. I believe we're up around 5 or 6 units, so having another very good week. And again, like I said, trying to win each week, trying to win each month until the end of the season. And we're doing that right now. So just trying to keep it rolling. And today's best bet is going to be with the same game. And if I'm picking this guy, I definitely think he's going to go over this prop. And tonight, it's going to be LeBron James. It's going to be LeBron James over 41.5 points, rebounds, assists, because this is a big spot. This is a big spot for the Lakers. This is a big spot for the Warriors. And LeBron is somewhat the king of the big spots. The only guy that I would maybe put ahead of him is Michael Jordan in closeout games, where Mike averaged around 34, 5 and 5. LeBron averages 29, 9 and 7. So depending on what statistics you like, you can kind of exchange those two. But again, we're in another closeout game for LeBron James, and kind of going back to some of those points that I talked about before. Andrew Wiggins is one of those guys who likes to man up LeBron, and he's still a little bit smaller than LeBron. He still gives up a little size, but Andrew just moves his feet so well. He likes to get into that body. He's a physical defender. And without that, then it's going to be some more of, Draymond's going to have to be on Anthony Davis. So it might be some more of like Jermichael Green or something along those lines. And LeBron is going to handle that, no problem. So for me, I really do think this is just a great look for LeBron James. Like I said before, he's averaging 28.4 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 7.1 assists on 42 minutes in closeout games. And again, you've heard me and Ron harp about this time and time again. When you're looking at those player props, you want to look at those minutes. You want to look at that volume. And LeBron James is definitely going to have that tonight. And then another thing that might be a little bit interesting is, Anthony Davis did have that head injury, whatever it may be. So that could mean that Anthony Davis is going to shoot a little less in this spot. And then if Anthony Davis isn't shooting as much, that means someone else has to shoot more. That very well could be and should be LeBron James. So I think LeBron James is going to be very aggressive. You guys heard me talk about this as well, getting to the basket, trying to get the Warriors in foul trouble, which I think LeBron is very good at. And all in all, this is a rivalry game. We've heard the narrative behind this with LeBron James versus Steph Curry. If Steph Curry beats LeBron, then is Steph on Mount Rushmore and maybe LeBron? LeBron takes notes of all this stuff. I promise you. Okay. I know him better than he knows himself. So LeBron is definitely been looking towards this moment. He's going to be going off in this game. He's going to be very aggressive. And two, JaMychal Green called him out, which probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world. LeBron says that he's never been on a team that's flopped and definitely hasn't been teaching anyone to flop. Don't know if you guys saw it, but JaMychal Green took that quote, put it on his Instagram, and put a nice cap over it. So again, incentivizing LeBron that much more. I don't like the guy, but it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. So for me, the best bet today will be LeBron James over 41.5 points, rebounds, assists. I got LeBron going off, and I got the Lakers closing out.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention what he did to Dylan Brooks, right? You don't want to mess with the king, the king like that. But yeah, man, when I see you on LeBron, I definitely gotta trust your intuition there because you're not the biggest LeBron fan, so I'm probably gonna rock with you on that one there. With that said, man, that 2 games down, man, the NBA playoffs is coming down to when. Matt, we're gonna have like one game like every couple days, dude. It's gonna be crazy, but. Yeah, the NBA season's winding down, but make sure you guys head over to SportsMemo and WagerTalk.com. We do, like I said, we have that 7-Eleven special. You get 11 days of all access service for the same $99 price that we normally charge for the 7-day all access. So you can have that there over at SportsMemo for Matt, myself, at WagerTalk. And also, I forgot to mention the Welcome 2023. I think that's still available for 50% off any daily, weekly, or longer all access package over at wagertalk.com on my page. I do have 2 MLB plays right now, 9 and 2 on MLB plays rated 3% or greater. I got a 3 and a 4%er today. So hopefully we continue winning in the MLB. And then also in the NBA, obviously, we want to keep cashing over here until the season is over. And once again, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button before you go. Our next show will be on Monday. Myself and Moneyline Matt will be back here the same time, same channel, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Till then, guys, good luck with our reaction. Peace.
Peace.